Hey, I'm Connor. I'm the producer for this show, and I want to introduce you guys to an awesome team that's been working to put this show together for you tonight.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
I'm Emma. Hi, I'm Hannah.
I'm the director for tonight's show, but you won't see me on stage. I'll be backstage helping our special guests and making sure that nobody says anything stupid. I'm looking at you, Josiah.
I'm the assistant producer. I'll be sitting back there at the tech table. I'm controlling everything you see on these screens. These screens right here. I'm the team lead for Late Night Live. I'm so excited for our show tonight. Just a couple of things before we start. Be sure to silence your cell phones, but don't turn them off because you will need them later. There are signs indicating each of the sections and rows. If you're still having trouble finding your seat, there are ushers around to help you.
Last, I just need to share my excitement. We have some amazing special guests in this show tonight. We're so excited for you to hear their stories and to be entertained and to laugh with us. So sit back, relax,
and enjoy the show. That's going to come at a cost here for you. It's SPO. We'd have to make it kind of like that, right?
Could you slide up a little bit? You two slide up a little bit.
One.
Okay. All right, live from
New Jersey.
Somerset or just New Jersey?
Just New Jersey.
All right, live from the Palace.
Yeah, you can do that. And then the rest we say.
It's Late Night Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out there.
Do it.
I may can this whole thing.
The whole thing.
If it just doesn't, if it's not the vibe, but I think it's worth trying. All right.
You mean this part or like the whole
The whole thing.
Okay.
Definitely this
That's
part.
great to know. It's basically based on what I've done so far, Connor has decided.
No,
this
just
thing.
live from the Palace here in New Jersey, it's Late Night Live! Wait. We also have dessert and champagne after the show, so don't leave early. Stick around to the end. It's gonna be awesome.
Welcome to Late Night Live with SPO! Here's your host, Josiah Claus!
Hey! How we doing? How are you guys doing tonight? We doing well? Hey, it's good to see you guys. You guys just got married, right? Congratulations, that's awesome. Well, welcome. This is great. We're here. This is my first time in New Jersey. So yeah, thank you. All right. So far, it's been really good. I stayed in a hotel, and now I'm here. So I feel like I've seen all that there is to see. It's great to be here. We got an awesome night ahead of us. We're here in the Palace, which is a sweet venue. I'm very excited to be here. We even got Ed Moshe. You showered before this, right? Yeah, all right. Thanks, Ed. In case you guys don't know, Ed, he's a little out of his element tonight. He's not really like a suit and tie guy, you know? Ed's kind of more of like, I'm gonna throw it in the wash on hot, and then we'll just kind of like, see what happens. I was talking to Ed backstage. You remember this, Ed? This definitely happened. We were talking backstage, and he was telling me, he was like, well, I used to think like a dry cleaner was like a dry cleaner, like a laundromat that like had like a no alcohol policy. And but now he started realizing he's dry cleaning his suits and he's getting good at it. So I just flew in from Minnesota yesterday. Anybody here from Minnesota? Okay, all right, yeah, there's a few of us. That's great. So myself and some of the crew tonight are from Minnesota. And I just want to kind of warn you guys, if you talk to us, if you could just be really gentle and like kind. We're really skittish, and we're really worried to be out here on the East Coast. So a good thing to kind of think about is like, imagine you're kind of talking to like a stray dog that has never experienced human affection. You just want to get low, just kind of shh, it's going to be okay. You're safe. This is a safe place. That'll be really helpful for us. No, we're really bad. I'm really bad at like leaving a conversation. Have you ever been in a conversation you don't want to be in? I'm sure, maybe you haven't, but I have. I'm in a lot of conversations that I don't want to be in, and I don't know how to leave them, right? Like, I don't know, how do you get out? And so I'll just smile and nod and smile and nod, and they'll be telling me, like, stories about their physicals or, like, whatever's going on, and I'm just like, that's great. Here's a hint. If I say something's interesting, that means I'm really uncomfortable, right? So if you say like, yeah, so I just went and got my physical, and I'll be like, oh, that's really interesting. That means please stop talking to me, just like apologize, back away slowly, just let me go. Minnesotans, we're really bad at conversations, but we also like apologize for everything. I don't know if you've experienced this, if you've ever been to Minnesota. Even if we don't do anything, like, we'll apologize for you because we feel bad, like, for you. So if you, like, walk up to my table and just, like, smack my plate off my table, I'll just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, please, forgive me. I'm sorry I got in your way, So just be really, really gentle to us tonight. Please welcome up Ali Aaliyah.
Hey, Mr. Sailor, come to the river and see the waters rising up and testing your heart and believe me when I say it's coming down. If you don't learn to breathe beneath the surface, you'll surely drown. Oh, the horizon glistens like the dew falling in the desert. Under alabaster walls will crumble down, so don't you dare look back.
Gordy Deemray has been serving the church for over 40 years, evangelizing, 40, it's a great number, evangelizing young people and college students. He's the president and founder of St. Paul's Outreach, so please help me welcome him up tonight. Gordy Deemray.
I remember when SPO was just being founded, there were a couple scripture passages that we felt like the Lord gave to us that remain to this day. And one was from John chapter 15, where Jesus says at the Last Supper to his disciples, apart from me, you can do no good thing. The other is from Psalm 127, unless the Lord build the house, we labor in vain. And I think that the challenge and the difficulty that comes in life often comes because we take on something that really belongs to the Lord himself. And I remember during some difficult times in the 1990s coming across a saying that Mother Teresa had, that we're fundamentally called to faithfulness and obedience and persevering through things, and the Lord then brings the fruit. And so if we're not praying, what are we about? What are we doing?
Sure.
Right? And so remaining, abiding in the Lord is foundational to us being the kind of people for whom others can experience Christ in us and through us. And then the work he calls us to, no matter how difficult it is really a burden that's easy and light. And the heavy yoke is that burden of self-reliance and self-focus. So.
Monsignor Tom, good to see you.
Don't embarrass me.
How are you? Yeah, I'll try not.
If he says to me that's interesting one time, I'm going to leave.
Yeah. You were backstage. You didn't get a book. Do you want one?
No, I didn't. Thank you.
All right, there you go.
Thank
Yeah,
you
all right.
very, very
Boom.
much.
Sweet.
Gordy, can you sign this? No.
Yeah, he's gone. He's already back in his hotel room. All right. How are you doing? Well? How are you?
I'm doing very, very well.
Good.
This
Well,
is
thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be here.
It's good to have
Good
you.
to be here with everyone.
Yeah.
I hope I can add something to the evening.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
it's going to be.
I'm going to try
rough.
my hardest.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Let's do. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready. In time, I really came to see that the pandemic was something that really magnified what was already happening in the church. It magnified some of the isms that we talk about, the secularism, individualism, relativism, and all those things that we can talk about. And so we have to really, really find ways to reach people and reach out to people in ways that we've never done before. And that's the new evangelization. That's evangelization that so characterized by SPO and really was characterized at St. Helen before I got there. My predecessor there is now Bishop Michael Saporito, and he had along with his prior pastors, had built an incredible parish, had built an incredible evangelizing parish that really, really was striving to reach out. And so when I got there in the midst of the pandemic, I thought to myself, I got to continue, or we've got to continue what he started, what he built. So we kept doing everything he was doing, and we're trying to build and expand it more. It can't be business as usual in the church. It needs to be something new and creative, innovative, so that we can truly reach out.
For the past 20 years, SPO has honored distinguished alumni, donors, and community leaders with the St. Paul Evangelization Award. This award is given to individuals and couples who have shown an outstanding commitment to the work and mission of SPO. This year, SPO is proud to announce Joe and Tammy Spada as the 2022 Northeast Region St. Paul Evangelization Award recipients.
Joe, you have been so generous with your resources throughout the years, but you've chosen St. Paul's Outreaches as one of the organizations that you really want to invest in significantly. Can you tell us why that is?
Well, evangelization is very important to me. I experienced other people evangelizing me, which changed my life. You know, I grew up like many people maybe in this room, born and raised Catholic, drifted from the faith in high school and college. Bought into the world, society saying success and wealth and popularity and is going to make you happy, and I realized it didn't. So in my late 20s, there was an organization at the time called the People of Hope, which is an organization, a structure, a process, a community, which helped evangelize me, move me further in my faith. And I've used St. Paul's Outreach as the same type of organization for young college kids who, many of them are going through very difficult times. It's a difficult time in their life, right? So once they're done with TikTok and Instagram and everything else, and they realize something's missing, thank God there's missionaries on campus to help them get to the next level.
Incarnate Word, Creator of all, you are my King. Infant so small, how can it be that you should come to me? Incarnate Word, Creator of all, you are my King. Infant so small, how can it be that you should come to me?
So we're going to play a little game. Are you guys okay with that? Are you guys ready to play a game? Yeah? All right. Well, we're going to do it anyway, so, buckle up. All right, so here we go. This game is called Ugly Baby Animal Edition. So this is how you play. I'm going to show pictures of full-grown animals up on these screens, and you're going to guess whether or not that animal is cute or ugly as a baby. Does that make sense? So you're going to see the picture of the adult animal, and then you have to choose whether or not you think it's cute or ugly. Now, there are prizes, so we're going to have to eliminate people. So what I'm going to need everybody to do is stand up. Can everybody stand up? And if you think the baby is cute, you'll put your hands on your head. If you think the baby is ugly, you'll put your hands on your hips. It's very simple. If you get it wrong, you got to sit down. That is a wombat. Wombat, yep. All right. Australians over here. Wombat, native to Australia. Fun fact about a wombat is their butt is their main form of defense, and when attacked, they will plunge headfirst into their burrows, using their butt as a shield to block off the entrance. I did not make that up. That is true. All right, hands on your head if you think that a wombat baby is cute. Hands on your hips if you think it is ugly. Show me that baby. It is hideous. Also hideous. For our next guest, we will be welcoming up Ed Moshe and Teresa Allen. Ed Moshe is the regional director for the Northeast region, and he is a father of 6 kids, not 5, 6. Teresa Allen is a chapter leader at Northeastern in Boston. She's been serving with SPO for 4 years, and this summer she's getting married. So let's welcome up Ed and Teresa.
Most young people between 18 and 25 leave the faith that they grew up with. Most Catholics leave the church during college years. But here's what I think is important. I remember having a lunch with a guy who's uncle happened to be a priest, and he was concerned because his nephew was no longer going to church. So we connected with him, and I realized in speaking with him, he wasn't a bad kid. He wasn't a rebellious kid. I don't think he ever even made a fundamental decision to walk away from the faith. There was just an apathy, and it was like he just woke up one day and he stopped going to Mass and he drifted and his friends weren't going there. Last year I was swimming at the Jersey Shore, which you should do while you're here, and the lifeguards blew their whistles at me because I was getting too close to the jetties, and I was boogie boarding. I'm not very good at boogie boarding, but I was like, how did I get all the way close to these rocks? I wasn't intending to swim into the rocks, but it was just like the whole current took me there. And I think what's happening on campus is the entire culture is moving young people towards a danger zone without them even being aware of it. And if they are aware of it, they don't know what to actually do about it.
Sure.
That's so real. Yeah, I'm up in Boston. I serve at Northeastern University, and I'm on campus a lot. I live with students, so something that we see pervading the campus, amongst other things, is a crisis of mental health. And I was talking to a student the other day about her mental health struggles, and she described it as this invisible weight. It's as if students on campus are walking around with a ball and chain attached to their ankle, and they're dragging it along, and they're either ignoring it or feel completely helpless to do anything about it. And we've been talking about this all night, this culture, the isms, individualism. We have isolation and loneliness, and this is feeding into this increase in depression and anxiety, and ultimately is leaving young men and women living without real purpose.
Sure.
But what we're really about is renewing culture by building a culture. So we run a lot of events and programs, but it's not about the events themselves, right? Young people, students, they're busy. They don't need another event simply to attend. They want people to belong to. They're longing for meaningful relationships. So we focus on that, on those dynamics, and on the community experience, so that when someone comes to an event, they come not because it's such a great event, but they come because they look around and say, these are my people, and I belong here. And then that community becomes attractive. And even if students don't verbalize it this way, what they'll experience is, there's something here that I'm attracted to. It's sticky, it's magnetic, and it begins to evangelize. But the community is also formative for the students living in it.
Where the rubber meets the road is household. So I live in household
Nice.
with 5 other women in a brownstone Boston apartment.
Mom?
And it's awesome, but you talk about building culture, Ed, it's in household where daily life is transformed, where daily habits are submitted to practice Christian virtue.
We have another young man who we're going to welcome up here in a second. He just graduated from Seton Hall. He was involved with St. Paul's Outreach there. He lived in household with these guys. But please help me welcome up Steve Campana. Well, Steve, can you tell us a little bit, what was faith like just growing up for you?
Faith was an hour a week growing up. I was expected to go to church. I was expected to leave church, and that was it.
All right.
There was no understanding of God or of God's love. It was just butt in the pew.
Yeah.
That's the end of the story, not up for discussion type deal growing up. And I kept that mentality through my freshman year of college. My parents just raved and raved about college my whole life, 18 years. College is the best, college is incredible, you're gonna have this amazing time. It's gonna be the time of your life. And that did not happen when I got there. I was lonely, I was stuck in my dorm. I was really just totally miserable, and this good time that I had been that had been advertised to me for 18 years just failed to show up. I was just having a terrible time.
Yeah, it sounds like college was pretty hard, but you're here now, so how did your faith kind of grow and develop then?
So I was going to campus min events in a pretty fruitless attempt to meet people. It wasn't really working. And then one day I just kind of happened to cross paths with a senior. His name was Adam. He lived in the men's house. He was a SPO student missionary, and he just grabbed onto me, like, just took care of me. He made sure, carried me across campus. Yeah, dragged me to the men's house.
Nice.
Yeah, he just really invested in me and looked out for me and made sure that I was going to Mass, going to campus midnights, men's events, SPO events, just really like wanted me around very notably and consciously. And then he was the MC for Fan Under Flame my freshman year, and I did not want to go. The only retreat I'd been on was my high school confirmation retreat. I did not have a good time. I don't want to do this. Retreat was like a 4-letter word. And so he was like, oh, you're going to come, right? And I'm like, I don't have the money. And he's like, I'll pay for you. And I'm like, I have homework. And he's like, just do it before and after. And I'm like, it's my birthday that weekend. And he's like, it's mine too. Go anyway. So just kind of ran out of excuses. So I went. And it was pretty flat at first. They're talking about, like, this God who loves you. And they're putting their hands up. I'm like, what's going on here? So yeah, I was like, when can I leave? I'm like checking the time. I'm like, get me out of here now. And then that night at the prayer meeting, that Saturday, he was the MC, so he was walking around. He wasn't sticking with us. And he came and prayed over me. And just, yeah, it's hard to really describe exactly what happened in that moment, but he was speaking truth in a way that he shouldn't have known about. And it was in that moment, I guess, that I had this sort of dawning realization that, like, if there's someone down here who I just happened to cross paths with, I wasn't looking for him, this wasn't intentional. We literally, like, met walking across campus, and he just took me from there. But if there's someone down here who sees me and wants me around and cares about me, then maybe there's a God, and maybe he does the same thing. And that was sort of the pivotal turning moment, I guess, my freshman year in the faith journey.
How has your life been changed? Like, what's the difference that experience has made in your life?
Oh, it's night and day. So freshman year, you go from, or anyone who enters household, but I especially did, you go from living in a dorm with, like, I think it was 300 people in the hall I was in, and you don't really know any of them. The residence hall I was in was a much less communal one than the other one. So I didn't know anyone very well. I didn't really have any even acquaintances. And you go from living with 300 people to living with, like, 10 to 12, and they know everything, and they're around you all the time. And you see them constantly, and you can't escape them. And it's really pivotal for, like, pushing you and helping you grow, and you support each other, and you lean on each other, and you push each other to grow spiritually. After that, Fan Under Flame, being Catholic went from being something that I did to something that I was, and I couldn't have done that without SPO.
This is what we're trying to build here in the Northeast. We're trying to allow students to encounter the Lord in such a way that when they encounter other students, they're brought back to who they were raised to be. So tonight, obviously, we're here to celebrate the work that the Lord is doing in St. Paul's Outreach, but we're also here because we want to raise support. I don't actually know a better way of saying it than we just need your help. Our work is dependent on your financial support. It's been awesome being here with you guys. One last time, let's welcome up Ali Aliyah.
Anything